Hello, lovely people. I'm Debs. Welcome back to my channel, The Creative Book Shack. It's September. I know it's September the 3rd, but it's still early September, and I have been delighted to discover that Margaret at Seven Plaza and Toni at Crafty by Toni have organised yet another collaboration. #Scraptember 2025. I'm going to take part. So these are all their lovely prompts. You can do them in any order. You can do as many or as few as you like. You don't have to do any at all. It's a collaboration that is that flexible. I've already done one in that I have created my autumn journal entirely out of packaging. So the cardboard, very small chicken pie box. The covering is the packing that you get inside an Amazon box. Then we have Amazon packaging. That makes up the 3 signatures that I've put in here. One for each month: September, October, November. That's all I've done so far. Today, I am going to have a look at green, texture, perhaps gold, definitely paint. So, I will tell you now, I have never done this before, and I have no idea whether or not it's going to work. So I have one piece of background paper to paint on. I've got the cover of my journal. I have one of the fabulous images from Margaret's latest project called Mirror Mirror, which I have fussy cut. I've got a couple of dried fern leaves from my garden. I have 1x paint tray. I've got some olive green acrylic, and I also have a jar of this. Now this is just a combination of water and PVA glue, which I use for decoupage. And finally, I have this. This is the 2-ply of a napkin that is left once I've taken the coloured bit off. And if you look really closely, I don't know if you can see it, you can see very faint images of butterflies on it. Don't know whether you can see in that light. Anyway, I am going to attempt to put some texture, green texture, on the cover of my book journal. Now, the easiest way, I'm going to separate this now because when I'm done, I'm going to need it instantly. The easiest way to separate these, finger and thumb, lick them, and it comes apart. And then you can just rip it. So, I am likely to use one of those for each. In fact, I'm going to screw them up now. Yeah, they're nice and screwed up. That's nice and screwed up, and I'll screw that one up. Right, I've also got a lollipop stick for mixing. What I'm going to do is I am going to pour some of my water and glue combo. Onto my paint mixing thing. I am going to put some green acrylic paint in there. I'm going to mix it up. Oh, it's nice and grainy. Do I like that colour? I'm not sure I do. It's a bit blue. So let's get some gouache. And let us add in a little bit of yellow, I think. Let's... Oh, I prefer that. Yeah. Bits hanging off it. I think that was one of my hairs. I need to wear a hairnet. My hair falls out all the time. There's so much of it. That might be a bit yellow now. It's going to take me forever just to get the colour of paint right. What's this one? This is a deep green. We'll put a bit of that in as well. Now we're getting there. Okay, so this is my colour. I quite like the graininess that you get if you mix the acrylic with water, because obviously it's not a water-soluble paint really. Okay, I'm going with that. Now, I've got a stencil brush for this, and all I am going to do is slop it on. I don't really want to get to the stage where I run out too much, because I'm not convinced I'll be able to colour mix this. So I am going to put that all over there like that. Not bothering about that bit. Then I'm going to take one of my screwed up tissues and I am just going to dump it on. I want a bit of texture. I don't care if it creases. It's not going to be lumpy because the tissue paper is so thin. When you've finished with it, you can literally go around the outside with water to peel the excess off. Now, I am just going to dab this all over there. I'm not going to brush it because the tissue paper gets quite damp. I'm not bothered either about it being completely stuck everywhere, because I'm actually going to be sticking more glue and other stuff on top of this. And I also don't particularly care whether it gets a perfect coverage, because I want it to look a bit textured. There's a fly in here. That's annoying, isn't it? I don't like flies in here, but I do like the window open, so I have to put up with them. Okay, we're nearly there on the first side. Now, I really want it to stick a bit more than that. I might end up having to put some more glue on it. I am just going to take a pair of long scissors, because it's not dry, and cut this bit off just because it's in my way. Now, I'm going to attempt to disconnect this, and you know what, I'm going to turn that over and wash the thing afterwards. Now, I'm going to do exactly the same with the other side and hope that I don't run out of green muck. Because it does need to be quite wet to help it stick down. Okay, number 2. Oh, that's interesting. It's not the tissue that's coming up, it's the paper underneath it. That will dry again once, that will go down again once it's drier. And we're going to do the same with this. And we're just going to splodge it down. Warts and creases and all. Like that. And we're going to cover this up. I had such a fun time last month doing the 3 under 30, but it's almost like I'm expecting there to be a time limit on this now, so it will take me a while to get used to the non-time limit on here, which might mean the videos are either longer or shorter, because I'm not in a little panic and stressing about time. I was sort of trying to find projects that you could do in almost exactly 30 minutes, 3 projects in almost exactly 30 minutes. A couple of times I went completely over the top and didn't make it at all. But there were a fair few that I did actually okay. I do have a little bit more paint, so there are a couple of areas on here that I'm going to redo. Can you see that side, or is it off camera? Like that, and then I am going to pause you. I'm going to dry this. I'm going to clean up. Back soon. Right, I'm back, but my video turned off because I left it for so long, and so I'm going to have to figure out how to splice these two together. Okay, what we've got is grungy, textured, greenish on there. I think What I'm going to get now is a bit of this, bit of luster wax, and I might put it on a bit of folded up kitchen roll, because again, unsure how this is going to work. I'm going to get a bit of this, excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat, get a little bit of this wax and put it on here, and then I'm just gonna, oh, look at that, can you see that goldiness? Oh yes, I like that. Now it does wear away the kitchen roll quite quickly, but it also works. I am going to use that to stick to get some more out. I'm going to go around the edges. What I did, by the way, when I was paused, was dry this with a hairdryer. Then I went round the edges with some water just to take the excess off, pulled the excess off. It's not particularly neat, but I'm thinking it doesn't have to be. Now, the spine I intend to cover with material, so I'm not going to do that at the moment, but I genuinely quite like the look of that. Let's do the back. So I'm not bothered particularly about the edges. Ooh, that bit's still wet. Just a little bit wet. But I'm enjoying the effect of the luster wax. I hope you can see it. Can you see it? I think that looks pretty. Don't know what I'm going to do on the back yet. I haven't decided. But I am enjoying that on the corners and the edges. So I shall put some along this edge too. Like that. And like that. What do you think? Do you like that? I'm quite pleased with it. Let's put some more gold on. I don't think anyone can argue that this isn't green and gold. It looks pretty green and gold to me. Right. Let's throw that away. No point in wasting this stuff, is there? Scrape off what we've got there and put it back in the little pot. And then give that a scrub. Oh, look at that, vaguely clean. Okay, now what I want, this is going to go on there, but I think I want a fern on them. These are pressed. They were in my garden. I know they're weeds. I'm only picking them when I have need of them. Now, I think what I'm going to do, I don't have any printable acetate. So Margaret's beautiful mirror is going to be cut out, but I do want... Why did I print this on stuff so thick? We ask ourselves. I can hear that now. That's the thing with working on a glass mat, you can actually hear when it's gone through, which is always a bonus. So I'm going to cut you see, all I have to do is press harder. You hear that? You hear the difference? About there, I think. This new kit from Margaret is on her cozy and it's absolutely lovely. Are we almost, we're almost out? Almost out. Because what I want to do is use the background, you see. But also, I thought I might put some acetate on it. So, to enable me to stick it back down again. Yeah, she's got all different sizes of these beautiful mirrors. Yeah, I think that one. So, I am going to glue this to the back. This has been in a flower press for the last probably a couple of weeks actually. I've only got a little flower press, it's very cheap. It doesn't have anything in the middle to hold it down, which is quite annoying. I might see if I get on with this flower press and I enjoy the use of pressed flowers, I may well see if I can create a bigger one. Now I think I want that like that. Yeah, and I want to remove these just like that. Probably shouldn't cut plants with paper scissors. I probably should keep scissors for the purpose that they are intended. Now I am just going to grab a piece of acetate and I want it slightly bigger than that because I am going to use this to attach back to the frame. It doesn't have to be straight, which is a bonus because my cutting skills are negligible. Let me put that down there. So, yes. I want that like that. I am going to put, how am I doing this? I need this to stick to the acetate, but I don't want it to be visible. And so, cheats method, I'm just going to sellotape it on because no one will see it. Now sellotape that on like that. Look, there's bits of plant all over me. That'll do. Yeah. Seal that down so you can't see it. Then that is going on there like that, I think. Where there are white bits where I've cut these out. Where's that little dauber thing? There's a little dauber thing. I'm just gonna remove the whiteness where I've cut. Don't want the whiteness. Don't realise how visible it is, do you? Until you cut it out. Oh, big bit across there. Okay, that will do me. So I want some glue, not around the picture, just on the acetate. Oops, that might be a bit close. I don't really, I can't do anything straight. I'm going to turn that round. I am going to line that up and push it. Oops. Into place like that. Margaret, thank you. This is going to make such a nice front for the cover of my journal. Now, the last thing I want to do is to find... shall I paint? No, I shan't paint. What do we have here? Gold plate. Are we working? Yes, we are. Are you smaller? Yes, you are. I'm just going to go over some of this goldenness, like for example down here. I don't want to go over all of it because my gold pen is darker than the highlights on Margaret's image. I just want to add some more glitziness. I don't like bright gold. I'm not a great lover of bling, but in its place, I think it can look lovely. Nearly done. And now that is going to go on there with perhaps, should we have a bit of, no, I don't want a bit of height on it. I want that just to stick onto there. So I'm going to glue all the corners and the edges like that. I am going to go over the back down the acetate. And I am going to move it slightly over from the center, purely because when I come to do that spine, I want an overlap on there. I would quite like it to be straight though. Straight is not something I am good at. But that is actually perfect. And I think, other than adding a little bit of grunge on that and there, I love that. That is the front of my autumn junk journal. I will probably add a few more bits, and I will definitely do the spine, but not now. But I think that tissue paper faux leather is really quite effective. So, where's the highlighter? What have we got? Green. Sorry, that's my neighbours. Texture from the napkin. Paint. Gold. I've also used acetate, but you know, I can't tick off too many all in one go, can I? I reserve the right to do any or all of these again if I run out. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Toni. This is another great challenge that I can see I am going to enjoy very much. That's it for this one. Thank you for stopping by. My new friend Candy from Candy's Crafted Creations, I'll link her channel below, was saying in a video the other day that we ought to all look out for each other and support the little guys. So she's probably made it by now, but I'll put a couple of channels below. Margaret is looking to top 200 subscribers. Last time I looked, she was on 199. That's so tantalizingly close. And Candy is about to tip over to the 70s, I think. I'm mid-60s. I'm really grateful to all of you who have come over and subscribed. And I really appreciate every one of you. Say hi, leave a comment, just wave. It's always lovely to get to know new people. But if you see a little craft channel that's just setting out, give them some love. Particularly Margaret and Candy. So that's it for me for today. I shall speak to you very soon. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.